Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees to the Gita Daily program. So today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita, Sloka number 20 from chapter number 2. We seek the blessings of the Lord, Jagannath Baldev Subhadramani Sudarshan, Gaurnantai Panchatattva, Lord Narsimhadev. We'll recite the prayers. Om Adnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. We dedicate a session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, who has explained Bhagavad Gita in a very simple and practical way. Due to His mercy, we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita today. Let's thank Srila Prabhupada. So we'll come to today's sloka. We'll recite the sloka. You can please repeat after me. You can remain muted. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. We'll repeat again. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यशाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो Na hanyade hanyamane sharire. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glory Srila Prabhupada. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, everlasting, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So in today's sloka, we are talking about the nature of the soul. It's continuation to the previous sloka discussions. We'll see the word-to-word meaning. Na, never. Jayade, takes birth. Mriyade, dies. Va, either. Kadajit, at any time. Past, present, or future. Na, never. I am. This. Bhutva, having come into being. Bhavida, will come to be. Va, or. Na, not. Bhuyaha, or is again coming to be. Aja, unborn. Nityaha, eternal. Shashwadaha, permanent. I am this. Puranaha, the oldest. Na, never. Anyade is killed. Anyamane, being killed. Sharire, the body. So, so here we can see that the eternal nature of the soul is emphasized. Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna, the soul is never taking birth, nor it never dies. It is eternal and everlasting. Nitya Shashvadoyam Purana, and it's very old. Na hanyade hanyamane sharire. So here one thing we can see is that if certain things are very important, there will be an explicit emphasis and sometimes a little repetition also. So here it is explicitly mentioned, he has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. So this is just to emphasize the importance that no, it is never coming into existence. So basically, the three aspects like past, present, and future. It is mentioned that no, the soul never comes into and never takes birth or never come into a material existence. Like the apparent things what we see in front of our eyes, like birth, no, death, etc. These are actually not concerning the soul, but it is concerning the body. So we'll look into the things into little more detail. So this is very important shloka. We are actually continuing our discussions about the nature of the soul. So last few days we were still discussing about the soul only. So So what we have to understand is that the external transformation, we're discussing about the transformation of the body, right? So the body actually, undergoes different changes. Like we have the birth, death, old age, and disease. No, these are the four things which is mentioned in the scriptures, which is common to everybody. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Janma is a birth, Mrityu is death, Jara means old age, and Vyadi is disease. So these four things are common to all jivas, all living entities. And besides that, the body also undergoes further transformation. So the body, like, it takes birth from the womb of the mother, then it remains for some time, it grows, then produces some side effects or byproducts, children, etc. It actually deteriorates, and finally, it is destroyed. So these are the changes of the body. This transformation of the body is something which we can perceive by our senses. But then that which cannot be perceived by senses is the spirit, is the soul or the Atma, which is there in the body. So this Atma, the nature of the Atma, Krishna is explaining, right? So this actually, these apparent things like birth, etc., which are birth and death, which are happening to the body, is not applicable to the soul. The soul actually is eternally existing, and the soul, there is no transformation. It is mentioned as it is immutable, it's not changeable. So the soul is a real identity of us, or the Atman, which we are really is experiencing, is going through different experiences in different bodies, right? So it takes a body and then undergoes some experience, then actually after that it gives up that body, and then it takes another body, then again it goes through a certain experience. So like this, the Atma, which is eternal and everlasting, is not actually being transformed. No, but the body is transformed. So why does the jiva or the Atma takes different body? Actually, we discussed briefly. That is because of the desire of the jiva, right? And also based on the karma. So in our this lifetime, we perform various activities. Sometimes, we do sinful activities. Sometimes we do pious activities, good activities. So these activities that we perform in our life, actually it causes the accumulation of karma. And based on the karma and also the desire of the jiva, the higher authorities, like there are different departmental agencies of the Lord who actually records the karma of the jiva. And also there is the Paramatma, the super soul, right? Which actually is the Lord himself, which is situated in every jiva along with the jiva. So in every body there are two atmas. One is known as the jivatma, and other is known as the Paramatma. So the jivatma is the individual soul, or the atma, or the person we are, and Paramatma is an amsha of the Lord, which is also residing in the body. So in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, it is mentioned that the analogy is given like the two birds which is sitting on the tree. So the one bird is actually eating the fruits, and other bird is observing. The bird which is eating the fruit is the jiva. So the jiva has many desires, and it is trying to fulfill the desire. Like, so eating the fruit is like fulfilling the desire. And the Paramatma, which is the part of the Lord, actually the Jivatma is also part of the Lord, but Paramatma is the direct manifestation of the Lord. The Paramatma is observing the activities of the Jiva. So the Paramatma has two functions. One is Anumanta and Upadrishta. So Upadrishta is observer, right? And Anumanta is the permitter. So the super soul actually sanctions the desires of the Jiva. Whenever the super soul sanctions, then the Jiva is able to execute it. So, and at the same time, the Anumanta and Upadrashta means the Lord actually is observing the activities of the Jiva. So, by virtue of Paramatma, all the desires of the Jiva is understood, like, or it's recorded. And similarly, all the karma of the Jiva is recorded. So, besides that, there are other entities also. It is mentioned in scriptures. Now, there are Devatas who are also responsible for tracking the karma of the Jiva, like the witnesses. For example, the sun is considered as one of the witnesses, and the directions, etc., etc., is mentioned in the scriptures. So essentially, the karma of the jiva is continuously tracked, and the sum total of the karma that the jiva accumulates in the lifetime will determine the next body the jiva will get. So it is not only one lifetime; the karma that is accumulated over many lifetimes is taken into account. And it is mentioned in scripture that it is very difficult to understand the nuances of the karma. Even the great learned people are not able to understand. It's very complicated. But essentially, we can just understand the activities that we do in our life has a reaction. right? And what sometimes we see that people ask question, no, why am I suffering? I have not done anything wrong. Or sometimes we see that a small child gets some incurable disease like cancer, or no, somebody, this child may die. So in the normal perspective, when we look only from the bodily perspective, it is very difficult to understand these things. And because of this reason, because we are not able to see from a higher perspective or beyond one body, many people are not ready to accept, the presence of the atma or the god, because they think that okay, if god is there, why such unfair things happen in life? But actually, according to scriptures, everything is explained. So some things which happen in this life, is because of certain things we have done in past life. No, it can be many lives before also. So so this way, the continuity of the soul is mentioned, in Bhagavad Gita by the Lord. So when we understand from a practical perspective, from the application perspective in our life, so we need to understand that, this life is not everything, right? And many of the things, the perplexities or the bewilderment that which comes to our life because of the apparent reverses. Like for example, in our family, for example, there can be some challenges. Maybe some child is born, with some deformities. No, like for example, some child has autism, or some children may be born, who are not able to talk, or there can be so many things, so many challenges, right? Or some person in the family gets some incurable disease, or somebody suddenly passes away by accident. So normal for a normal person who doesn't understand the concept of soul, all these things are extremely difficult to digest, or no, it completely bewilders them, and they becomes completely shattered in their life, right? But then when we understand the the eternal nature of the soul, and how the karma actually is playing in our life, then actually we are able to accept the things, from more um, a more higher perspective, right? We are able to digest the things, and we are able to understand why these things happen. So 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 that is the importance of understanding the temporary nature of the body and the eternal nature of the soul, right? And also there are some details like, how do we understand the presence of the soul? We cannot see the soul, because the soul, as we discussed, is spirit, and the spirit cannot be perceived by our material senses, right? Our material senses are only capable of perceiving material things. So what we can see is only the gross body, which is made up of the five elements. And there is the subtle body we discussed also, which is consisting of mind, intelligence, ego, and then the soul. So neither the subtle body nor the soul can be perceived by our senses. But that which can be sensed by our senses, like, is the presence of the soul indirectly in the form of consciousness. So it is mentioned that the consciousness is the symptom of the soul, right? So it is one analogy is given like the sun. The presence of the sun can be perceived by sunlight, even though sometimes the sun is covered by the clouds, or in early morning, no, if the sun is not at risen, but still we can feel the presence of the sun, right, by the sunlight. Similarly, the consciousness is that which, by which we can perceive the presence of the body. So we see that when somebody passes away, the consciousness is lost, right? And then there is no perception, sense perception also is lost. And that which is illuminated, the soul is that which is illuminating the body, by the consciousness. So the consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Yeah, so I think we have come to the end of the time. So we continue our discussions, no, tomorrow. So just one, we'll try to recap what we understood today. So we saw that the soul, nature of the soul is eternal, right? And the transformation that we see, like birth, death, old age, disease, etc., it is not actually affecting the soul. Uh, uh, there is also an analogy of a chariot or a car given. No? So basically, the soul is actually the traveler, and the body is like a chariot, right? It's just a vehicle for the soul. The soul goes through various experiences, but I know it is not. The soul is never killed, or no, it's never taking birth, nor it is dying. The body is just, taking birth and dying. So this is one key lesson. And what actually we can take away, from this to apply in our life is to look everything from a little higher perspective. We should broaden our vision. Our narrow vision is only looking at one lifetime. But actually, when we broaden our vision, we can see that this lifetime is just but one small fragment of our entire existence. and many things which happens in this particular life experience is because of things which has which has happened in the past, like it's a result of the karma and desire that we have undergone. And one more thing, we can from an application perspective we can understand that the jivatma and paramatma is present in every jiva, every living entity, right? so we can have a more broader vision. So whether beyond the external appearances. So sometimes we have this tendency, like all of us has the tendency to try to distinguish or to discriminate. So in thinking that, okay, like no, he's like he belongs to my country, like for example I belong to this state, no, so okay, all people belong to this state, they are actually more close, dear to me, right? We are attached to our birthplace. So or based on like caste, creed, no, okay, he is belonging to a higher caste, this person is belonging to a lower caste. So when we understand that all of the all living entities, no, they all are actually atmas, no, they are all spirit souls which are part and parcel of the supreme lord, right? So when we understand this concept, we can have a more broader vision of everything, right? All the temporary dualities, like even actually distinguishing between male and female. So these are all temporary concepts. So this body is temporary. Today in this birth we may be a male, in next birth we could be a female. And also Shastra says we could even be taking any of the 84 lakh species. So we could take the body of a animal, any animal, birds, beast, or plants, trees, etc. So there are 84 lakh bodies, right? So when we understand the higher principle, we can see that the Atma, no, the Atma actually the same Jivatma is residing in every bodies, irrespective of all these different distinctions, right? So we can have a more broader perspective, and and the attachment or temporary attachments or the favoritism, that we sometimes have towards our own kin and kith. So these things we can rise above all of them by understanding these things. Okay, so with that, I think we come to the end of today's discussion. Uh, are there any questions? If there are any questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can put it in the chat. So yeah, the topic of the soul. I think the coming days also we will continue the same topic, because it's very crucial to understand the spiritual topic. So this is the first step. The first step is in spirituality is to understand that we are not the body, we are the soul. So the understanding of the principle of the Atma is very crucial in our understanding. So we continue our discussion every day. So request everybody to join and take benefit of the sessions. Okay. So yeah, if there are any questions, you can ask. Anybody wants to leave, we can leave. You can also post your questions. You can send message directly to me on my WhatsApp number, and which is available in the group. Okay, so then we'll end today. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, yesterday one of my colleagues, she passed away.
Okay, Mataji. Yes.
She has committed suicide.
Okay.
So if Paramatma is residing in everyone, how
Mm.
he can allow to kill himself, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji. This is a good question. See, the Lord actually, the Lord has given something called a free will. So every jiva has a free will, and the Lord doesn't interfere in the free will. So the free will, because see, if everything is automatic or no controlled by the Lord, then there is no reciprocation, right? So the love and reciprocation will happen completely only when we have independence and freedom. So the Lord actually observes everything, and he also guides the jiva, but then the Lord doesn't interfere in the free will of the jiva. So that is why no, the Lord doesn't stop. But sometimes the Lord might have given different hints or different directions to the jivatma. But then if the jivatma again insists, like so, we commit many sinful activities, right? So if the jivatma is persistent and insisting that he want to do something, then the Paramatma doesn't actually interfere in the free will of the Lord of the jiva. So that is why. And also committing suicide actually is considered also is not definitely considered as a good thing from the scriptural perspective, because as per the karma, every jiva is supposed to undergo a lifetime of a certain years. let's say somebody is destined in this lifetime to live for say 80 years or 70 years, and if the person commits suicide, then that's what you call, we discuss about the subtle, no, subtle body. So the jiva will have to remain in the subtle body without a gross body, till the period is over. So we have heard about this phenomenon of ghost, right? So such jiva
Mm-hmm.
will have to continue the existence. No, he will not get a new body until the time is over. So that is why it is very
Then,
important for all
then
of us, no, to pass the knowledge to others, because the jiva, many people doesn't have the knowledge about these things, right? So when many people, like we have seen many people who actually has the tendency of suicide, who became devotees, and then they were able to, stabilize their life, because people doesn't have the understanding that, they think that, okay, if I finish this body, then all the problems will get over, right? Which is not the right understanding. So that's why it is very important that we should pass the message to, all of us, like whoever is with us, friends, relatives, etc. Mataji.
okay, Prabhuji. And what will happen to the soul until the age will over? The soul will be roaming
Yes, Mataji.
around its family.
Yes.